There will be no change of venue in the trial of 6 Baltimore police officers charged in the death of 25-year-old Freddie Gray. He suffered a spinal cord injury during his arrest back in April. He died a week later. Gray's death led to riots and protests, you'll recall, in the city. Despite that, a judge has ruled that an impartial jury can be found in Baltimore for the trials of those 6 police officers. The judge says the issue may be revisited, but what would it take to change the judge's mind? Let's bring in Robert Schalk, defense attorney and former prosecutor, along with Vincent Trimarco, Jr., criminal defense attorney and co-founder of the American Patriot Heroes Fund. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. This is a very important topic here because many people had wondered aloud and even in close quarters, can these 6 police officers receive a fair trial if they don't move the venue to another city somewhere outside of Baltimore? But that hasn't happened, as we've seen now. Is the judge keeping the door open, though? Robert, we'll begin with you.
Yeah, the door is going to always be open if one of the police officers goes to trial first and they see whether he's convicted or acquitted. Riots erupt after that verdict. He could always change his mind and move the other 5 out of Baltimore. You know, these are very rare circumstances. I can name a couple of cases. Timothy McVeigh was moved for a change of venue. The police officers in the Rodney King beating case, that was a change of venue as well. This case, to me, screams for a change of venue. I don't see how you can get fair and impartial jurors where every single person was affected by the riots. And what I mean by that is they were affected by the curfew. Every single person was told they had to be in their house at a certain time, and they're going to have an opinion formulated. So I think they should have granted it, but the judge did leave the door open.
Vincent, to Robert's point, many people watch this on television, particularly those people living in Baltimore, who were not even part of the West Baltimore neighborhood that really got burned and looted and where riots ensued. The situation that happened with Freddie Gray.
Right, that's correct. And as a matter of fact, it's extremely difficult in any case, to change venue. There are certain cases, famous cases like Robert mentioned, the Rodney King case, for example. Extreme cases where there's extensive media coverage, where no matter where you are, you're going to be exposed to that media and to the facts of the case. So this would be a particular example, an extreme case where a change of venue, I believe, would be appropriate.
The underlying fear here seems to be what you alluded to earlier, Robert. Would there be rioting, perhaps after the first police officers tried, since they're all being tried separately? The police chief, Kevin Davis, spoke to us today on Fox News. Let's listen to what he had to say about that particular portion.
Our experiences are now our greatest teacher, and that lawlessness is not going to happen again. Businesses aren't going to be tolerated. It's not going to be tolerated. It can't be tolerated. So cops can't get hurt, citizens can't get hurt, businesses can't burn to the ground.
So that being said, would the judge be more inclined to continue to hold on to his stance that everything would take place here in Baltimore?
Yeah, I mean, I would think, obviously, like as I said before, he'll at least keep the first one there unless something egregious changes his mind between now and that October trial date for the first one. But I mean, the police chief can sit here and say it's not going to be tolerated all he wants, but at the end of the day, do they have enough police presence? Do they have enough force? Are they going to bring the National Guard in anticipation of this? Why even risk the possibility of more millions and millions of dollars in riots and possible destruction occur when you can simply move it to an adjourning location and have these things happen? I mean, you can't prevent it from happening, but it's one way of ensuring it that it doesn't happen.
Let's go to the core of something that we witnessed in Baltimore during this entire situation. Very unfortunate for the city and for the people who live there, and that's anger. Anger had already been brewing there over the course of many years, but as the police chief said, they hadn't encountered anything like this since 1968. Do you think things have changed, Vincent? Will anger simmer? Will peaceful people be out there protesting instead of showing anger with anything that goes on with these trials?
One can certainly hope that people will change their tone and their mood, but unfortunately, high-profile cases like this are emotionally charged, and people are upset. And
very good point. Having said that, how does it impact defense attorneys when they have to go in and present a case that will help them help their defendant or their client?
Well, in this particular case, from a defense attorney standpoint, the change of venue issue is very important, because if you can't get a fair and impartial jury, it's going to hurt the defense. And the fact that there's an angry citizenry prepared to react, it's an extreme amount of pressure to put on the defense attorney. And it's going to affect the case, and it's going to affect the trial and the psyche of the attorneys involved. It has to.
Real quickly, $6.4 million awarded to the family of Freddie Gray. Does that have any, you think, influence or impact on potential jurors?
Absolutely. They're hearing now.
Even though they're saying that it won't.
Yeah, you can say that all you want, but if people who are not educated on the law, who are not educated on different theories of the case and burdens of proof and why certain amounts of money were given over, if they're just reading that the city is giving $6.4 million to this family, they view that as an admission of guilt either by the city on behalf of the officers, even though it's not. And it's a huge problem that the lawyers are going to have to jump over, a hurdle to jump over to get fair and impartial juries. And
the mayor announcing as of yesterday that she will not run for re-election. What kind of impact will this have on these trials?
I think it'll have a negative impact insofar as, you know, the fact that she's resigning. She made a decision to settle, like Robert said. That decision will influence the jury insofar as people don't understand the difference between criminal liability and civil liability. Does it mean that the people are effectively guilty? No, absolutely not. But a layperson doesn't understand that. And the fact that she's resigning, I think, amplifies that particular point.
Vincent and Robert, thank you very much for your insights and your perspectives on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Julie.
All right, Kelly. Well, more embarrassing secrets coming to light about the cheating website Ashley Madison. Turns out the names of people using the site wasn't the only thing hackers got their hands on.